A pair of worn blue hospital scrubs hung neatly on the locker room door while elegant evening gowns shimmered in expensive boutique windows across the street. As the hospital prepared to honor its biggest donors at a prestigious charity gala, Coralie Winslow, a dedicated pediatric nurse, quietly stared at the invitation in her trembling hands. She had spent the entire week saving children instead of saving money, and now she realized she couldn't even afford a dress worthy of the event. Fighting back tears beneath the bright afternoon sunlight streaming through the hospital windows, she quietly admitted that she simply wouldn't attend. But someone standing nearby overheard her words, smiled gently, and offered an unexpected answer that would forever change the meaning of dignity, courage, and true beauty. He simply told her that if she couldn't afford a dress, she should proudly wear the scrubs that had already made her the most important person in the room. If you believe kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances still exist, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel. Every bit of support helps our community continue sharing stories that remind us compassion is the most beautiful thing anyone can wear. The warm afternoon sun bathed the city of Harrowbridge as people hurried along busy sidewalks carrying shopping bags and bouquets of flowers. Inside St. Augustine Children's Hospital, however, the world moved to a different rhythm. Every hallway echoed with quiet determination as doctors, nurses, therapists, and volunteers devoted themselves to giving frightened children another chance at life. Coralie had worked there for almost 8 years, rarely taking a vacation and almost never calling in sick. At 32 years old, she had become known as the nurse who somehow remembered every child's favorite storybook, every parent's name, and every birthday, even during the busiest weeks of the year. Life outside the hospital had never been easy. After both of her parents passed away within 2 years of each other, Coralie became the guardian of her younger brother, Keaton, who dreamed of becoming an engineer. Every extra dollar she earned paid tuition bills, rent, groceries, or medical expenses for families who quietly needed help. While friends bought designer clothes or planned luxurious holidays, Coralie measured success differently. She believed that if someone smiled because of her kindness, the day had already been worthwhile. That same week, the hospital announced its annual fundraising gala. Wealthy donors, business leaders, local officials, and community partners would gather to celebrate the hospital's achievements and raise money for new pediatric equipment. Every department received invitations, including nurses whose dedication made the hospital extraordinary. Most employees eagerly discussed dresses, tuxedos, hairstyles, and photographs. Coralie quietly folded her invitation and placed it inside her locker. She knew she couldn't justify spending hundreds of dollars on clothing when Keaton still needed textbooks for his final semester. Late one afternoon, while finishing paperwork beneath sunlight pouring through the staff lounge windows, she softly admitted to herself that missing the gala would probably be for the best. Standing nearby was Alastair Grayson, chairman of the hospital foundation. Although newspapers often described him simply as a billionaire philanthropist, very few employees recognized him because he rarely sought attention. After selling the technology company he had built over 25 years, Alastair devoted much of his fortune to improving children's healthcare. Yet despite his wealth, he remained deeply humble, believing the true heroes were never the people writing donation checks but the people changing lives every single day inside hospital rooms. He overheard Coralie explaining that she couldn't afford a suitable gown. Instead of offering money or arranging an expensive shopping trip, Alastair quietly told her something she would never forget. He explained that no designer dress could possibly represent her better than the scrubs she wore while comforting frightened children. Those scrubs carried tears she had wiped away. They carried long shifts without complaint. They carried hope. If anyone questioned them, perhaps they were attending the wrong event. Coralie smiled politely but dismissed the idea. She believed formal occasions required formal clothing. The conversation ended. Or so she thought. The afternoon of the gala arrived beneath clear blue skies. Volunteers decorated the hospital garden with white flowers, colorful ribbons, and cheerful music while families gathered to celebrate the children whose lives had been transformed by remarkable care. Unexpectedly, a medical emergency interrupted everything. A school bus accident sent several injured children to the emergency department only hours before the gala. Without hesitation, Coralie joined every available nurse. Hours disappeared. She comforted terrified parents. She cleaned wounds. She held tiny hands during frightening procedures. She skipped lunch without noticing. By the time every child had been stabilized, there was barely enough time to attend the event at all. She looked down. Her scrubs were clean but plainly worn from another demanding shift. There was no opportunity to change. Remembering Alistair's words, she took a deep breath and simply walked toward the hospital courtyard exactly as she was. The moment she entered, conversations slowed. Guests wearing elegant suits and sparkling gowns turned toward the nurse still dressed for work. Some whispered. Others looked confused. Then something unexpected happened. Alistair stepped away from the stage before the ceremony even began. Instead of greeting politicians or major donors first, he walked directly across the garden toward Coralie. With genuine admiration, he thanked her publicly for choosing patience over appearances. He explained to every guest that while many people arrived wearing expensive clothing, only one person in attendance wore the uniform of someone who had spent the entire afternoon saving children's lives. The applause began slowly. Then it grew louder. Within moments every guest stood. Doctors. Parents. Volunteers. Business leaders. Even the children healthy enough to attend clapped enthusiastically. Coralie fought back tears. For the first time in years, she didn't feel embarrassed by what she lacked. She felt proud of everything she had given. During the evening's presentation, Alistair surprised everyone again. Instead of announcing the largest financial donor first, he introduced several nurses, therapists, cleaners, cafeteria workers, and maintenance staff whose daily efforts kept the hospital running. He reminded the audience that buildings, equipment, and technology mattered greatly. But compassion remained the hospital's greatest resource. News outlets covering the gala quickly shared photographs of Coralie standing confidently in simple blue scrubs surrounded by elegantly dressed guests. The image spread across social media within hours. Millions admired the quiet message. Beauty isn't determined by fabric. Honor isn't purchased. Service speaks louder than luxury. Inspired by the overwhelming response, hospitals across the country began recognizing frontline staff more publicly during fundraising events. Several organizations introduced scholarship funds supporting nursing students from families with limited financial resources. Donors contributed more generously than ever before because they felt connected not merely to a building but to the remarkable people working inside it. Meanwhile, Keaton graduated at the top of his engineering class. Watching his sister receive community recognition reminded him how many sacrifices she had quietly made throughout his education. His first professional paycheck funded something he had dreamed about for years. He secretly established a scholarship in Coralie's name for future nursing students who believed financial hardship should never prevent compassionate people from serving others. When Coralie learned about the scholarship, she cried harder than she had during the gala. Not because of recognition. Because she realized kindness had quietly multiplied beyond anything she ever imagined. Years passed. The hospital expanded. Thousands more children received life-changing treatment. Near the entrance stood a framed photograph from that unforgettable afternoon. It showed a smiling nurse in ordinary blue scrubs standing beside grateful children while elegantly dressed guests applauded around her. Below the photograph appeared a simple inscription. Some uniforms carry more courage than any gown ever could. Visitors paused before it every day. Many smiled. Some wiped away tears. Young nursing students often stopped longest, realizing that dignity comes from purpose rather than appearance. Alistair continued supporting hospitals around the country, but whenever reporters asked him which investment made him proudest, he never mentioned buildings or equipment. He always remembered the afternoon when one nurse unknowingly reminded an entire community that genuine greatness cannot be tailored, purchased, or displayed in luxury. It is earned through quiet acts of love repeated every single day. Before we reach the end of this story, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment and tell us, who is someone in your life whose everyday kindness deserves more recognition? Your words might inspire others to thank the quiet heroes around them. As another bright afternoon filled the children's hospital with laughter, recovering patients chased colorful balloons through the garden while nurses hurried from room to room with gentle smiles. Coralie walked those familiar hallways wearing the same simple blue scrubs, but now she carried something even more valuable than confidence. She carried the certainty that the world had finally begun to see what had always mattered most. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Together, our community can remind the world that compassion never goes out of style, kindness never loses its value, and the most beautiful people are often the ones wearing the clothes stained by lives they chose to save. Sometimes the finest outfit anyone will ever wear isn't found in an expensive boutique or behind polished glass. Sometimes it is the humble uniform that bears the marks of sacrifice, long days, quiet tears, and unwavering love, a reminder that true elegance is measured not by what covers our bodies, but by what fills our hearts.